In a village, nestled by a tranquil lake, an old woman's quiet life was forever changed. One morning, she found a newborn baby boy, adrift in a basket, miraculously safe. On his skin were intricate markings, like tattoos etched by nature itself. She took him in, named him Kai, and raised him as her own. As Kai grew, he discovered these weren't just markings. They were sources of incredible power. He could move things with his mind, heal with a touch, and possessed a strength that defied his slender frame. He kept his abilities a secret, sharing them only with the woman who had saved him. When Kai reached his late teens, he and his friends embarked on a journey through the dense northern forests, a trip meant for adventure and bonding. But their excitement soon turned to terror. Out of the shadows emerged a group of fierce, armed attackers. They were ambushed, outnumbered, and quickly overpowered. Kai, hesitant to reveal his powers and endanger his friends further, allowed them to be captured. They were dragged through the woods to a hidden camp and thrown into a crude cage. Fear hung heavy in the air. His friends looked to him, their eyes filled with despair. As the attackers gathered around their prize, one of them, a man with a weathered face and a long scar over his eye, grabbed Kai, intending to mock him. He ripped Kai's shirt, and his eyes widened in shock. There, on Kai's chest and back, were the swirling, ancient patterns he had been born with. A collective gasp went through the camp. The scarred man immediately fell to his knees. One by one, the other attackers followed suit, their heads bowed low. In a chorus of stunned reverence, they whispered, "My king, you have returned." Kai and his friends were utterly bewildered. They were freed from the cage, not as prisoners, but as honored guests. The leader of the attackers, the scarred man named Borin, began to explain. "The tattoos," he said, "were the sacred mark of a legendary lineage, a symbol of a forgotten prophecy. They were not mere attackers. They were the last remnants of a royal guard, scattered and living in exile after their kingdom was overthrown decades ago. They had been searching for the lost heir, the one who bore the mark." Borin then told Kai the story of his true heritage. He wasn't an orphan abandoned at a lake. He was the son of the kingdom's greatest general, a man whose bravery was sung in legends. During a surprise enemy invasion, Kai's father had sacrificed his own life to save the royal family, spiriting away the infant Prince Gihan, setting him adrift on the lake, hoping someone would find him and keep him safe from the usurpers. The enemy had seized the throne, imprisoning the rightful king and queen, along with the families of all who had remained loyal, including Kai's own birth mother. The floating basket was not an act of abandonment, but one of desperate hope. The weight of this revelation settled upon Kai. The stories his adoptive mother told him, the strange powers he possessed, the unique marks on his skin, it all clicked into place. He wasn't just a boy from a small village. He was the heir to a fallen kingdom, the son of a hero. A fire ignited within him, a sense of purpose he had never known. He looked at the faces of Borin and his men, seeing not attackers, but a loyal army waiting for their commander. His friends, no longer afraid, now looked at him with awe and determination. His mind was made up. He would not hide in the shadows any longer. He accepted his destiny. "We will free them," Kai declared, his voice ringing with newfound authority. "We will take back our home." The scattered band of exiles became his army. They spent the next few weeks in the heart of the forest, training and strategizing. Kai honed his powers, pushing them to their limits, learning to command the elements and channel his incredible strength. Borin, a brilliant tactician himself, taught him the art of warfare, of leading men, and the history of their kingdom. His friends, inspired by his courage, trained alongside the soldiers, becoming a crucial part of his inner circle. The plan was audacious. They would use the element of surprise, just as their enemies had done years ago. Under the cloak of darkness, they launched their assault on the heavily fortified castle. Kai was a force of nature on the battlefield. He deflected arrows with waves of energy, crumbled stone walls with a gesture, and moved through the enemy ranks like a phantom. His army, fueled by decades of suppressed loyalty and a desire for vengeance, fought with a ferocity the enemy had never anticipated. The castle guards, long grown complacent, were overwhelmed. They breached the dungeons, freeing the political prisoners who had languished there for years. Among them, an older, graceful woman's eyes locked onto Kai's. She saw the marks on his skin, the face of the husband she had lost, and tears streamed down her face. It was his mother. Their reunion was a moment of pure, unbridled emotion amidst the chaos of battle. They also freed the aged king and queen, who looked upon Kai with gratitude and wonder. With the usurper defeated and the royal family freed, the kingdom rejoiced. The tale of the lost prince who returned with an army from the forest spread like wildfire. In a grand ceremony, the king, recognizing Kai's bravery, leadership, and the sacrifice of his father, did something unprecedented. He named Kai not just a hero, but his chosen successor. Kai, the boy from the lake, was now the new prince, the hope of a reborn kingdom. His journey had just begun, but he stood ready to lead his people into a new era of peace and prosperity, forever honoring the legacy of the parents who had given everything for him. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more epic stories.